The head of a whatever the heck that thing was. Is that the... Is that the face of the creature? Yeah, it's got like little horns coming off it at the top there. Like a jester hat of some kind. Right. I'm gonna share my theory at the end of this video. What I think happened here. The morning after, old Oakburn woke up to silence. 1,043 inhabitants disappeared overnight. After quick and inconclusive investigations, little evidence was found. The existence and whereabouts of the flutist remained an unanswered enigma. That was until 2003. Okay. The search for old Oakburn's population continues. Right. Okay, so here's my... oh, no, don't play. Don't play! Now, I believe that the flutist is potentially someone that was sent by something that lies dormant underneath of Lake Oakburn. The reason I say this is because he seems to have magical abilities with his flutes that activates this shrine that then did something to make all these people disappear. So I think that, I don't know how the flutist got there in the first place. That remains a mystery. He just shown up one day. But I think in general that this town, this area that these videos take place in, is a hotspot for like aliens, or maybe like there was ancient life there at one point that just lays dormant. And I think that's what happened there at the Lake Oakburn. Basically what happened was he gained all the trust of these people because his music was so beautiful and it was enchanting and they liked having him around. He gathered everybody saying this was his magnum opus, and his magnum opus was activating this shrine, which also activated something most likely underneath the lake itself. Maybe there was an ancient civilization under there, or some kind of power. I mean, I think what happened is because they said that he shifts them beyond the veil, like underneath reality or whatever. So he takes them like Silent Hill, for example. It's the same place, but it's a different dimension. It's like, here's our dimension, here's a dimension underneath. And I think whatever song that the flutist played there transported them from this dimension to this dimension. But the screaming that was happening there suggests that something must have risen, or maybe the flutist was changing and everyone was scared, and you can hear the sound of them disappearing and the cassette dropping. So they literally just disappeared. So for some reason the cassette survived, but the people went. So this is the only evidence they have of what happened on that day, and that was 1996, and they're saying that 2003 something else happened, and I'm guessing that is what part 2 is. He knows well his wicked ways. Okay guys, so this is the last video that Red Diamond uploaded. I really hope there's a part 3 because I'm really enjoying this series. It's fantastic. The sound design is amazing. The visuals are amazing. The story or whatever's being told here is amazing. It really gets you thinking. Top 5 for me. Straight away, top 5 analog horror creators. Here we go. That's a nice house. Be a shame if something were to happen. 25 miles from Lake Oakburn, the Lebedev residence. Oof. Oh, Jesus. Wow, okay, well, something bad did happen. Okay. I stood upon their blood. I stood upon the weapon. I stood before the flute. And the drowned city arose beneath my feet. Man, this is playing out like a Silent Hill dialogue. You know in Silent Hill when you go around and you're in the other world or whatever it's called, and there's little freaking like poems like that all around. And it's not quite like very descriptive, but it's poetic in its descriptions. And you have to really like read between the lines to understand what it's trying to say. I like this writing, it's really good. Okay, so this is like crime scene photos. The melody crawls in. The voice under the veil commands. The voice under the veil. And the vessel answers. Sleep token. If he was a serial killer. What stands before you, Detective Astor, is not a person. I exist incarcerated in a vessel of the arcane. Okay, so whoever this person is that obviously murdered whoever it was, murdered the Lebedevs, is just an empty hollow shell, and it's imprisoned in that vessel. And maybe it's doing the works of the voice below the veil to then have access to beneath the veil. Maybe the veil is like a paradise to this person, and this is punishment for them for some reason. I will entertain your feeble sense of justice. I will share you my tale. He knows well his wicked ways. Red Diamond presents very good. I love the sound design for this. It's so freaking good, man. Look at the visuals as well. This freaking bird's eye view of the police there. December 10th, a call is made to the Ito Civic Police Department from the Lebedev household. The caller confessed to having committed murder. Jackson and Oliver Lebedev were dead, their bodies aligned in the dark room. The Lebedev brothers, naturalist photographers of Ito Civic, searched to capture the empty landscape of the mountains. I guess that's Civic, right? The criminal was never identified. For the convenience of this investigation, the killer will be addressed by the pseudonym John Doe. Evidence 3. The Lebedev murders. Lebedev. A timeline based on the interrogatory of John Doe. Couldn't that just be interrogation? Maybe I'm just dumb. Conducted and recorded by Detective Martha Astor. Ooh, okay, Martha became a detective, or was she always a detective? It would make sense. Like that she maybe wanted to become a detective because her husband was involved in a strange disappearance in the same freaking area that has no explanation. And now another town of people disappear? Of course she's going to be interested in this. December 5th, 2003. John Doe is led by the melody of a wind instrument emanating from Lake Oakburn. Okay, so that was where everyone went missing, right? Was it Lake Oakburn? Yeah, everyone gathered around to listen. Or it was in Oakburn, at least. Man, I love this. This story's great. I love it. Segment 1, conditioning. Okay, so he's being it's almost like a siren. You're being hypnotized by whatever this thing is. But instead of the siren killing you straight away, it's like luring you in to then put you under the veil, as they say, under reality. From the very first moment that the flute touched my mind, I was sure to have been struck by something otherworldly, roaming the depths of the lake. Okay, so there is something underneath the lake. That is what was activated, surely. Near the lake, John Doe encounters a monolith. On the surface of the smooth rock, a symbol was carved, a circle and 9 triangles. Is it going to explain what that symbol is? Oh, hang on a sec. Well, that was a different symbol. That's a triangle with 9 circles. I witnessed, in clear and inscrutable reason, the flute and the man. They taught me wisdom from the bottom of the lake, the drowned city, and the millions who rest there. He raised me in that instant as a vessel. Okay, so there was some kind of ancient civilization in this place, and it's definitely a hotspot for this energy that whatever's that circle, you know, there seems to be hotspots of different entities, creatures, and maybe it's due to what's underneath this lake or what used to be there. He was taught wisdom, and then like he just became a vessel for the voice beyond the veil or underneath the veil. Jeez. The emblem etched upon the rock, the beautifully profane assortment of a circle and 9 triangles, suddenly gleamed in crimson hue. The song wove a web, his desire in an instant made clear. In the flutes, I discerned the will of expansion, which I was to provide. Okay, so so last time that was played, everyone would disappeared into whatever it was. They went to a different dimension below the veil. But this guy has been sent on a mission almost. After the encounter, John wanders the mountain for 5 days, allegedly in a deranged state of mind. Now, I'm definitely thinking that everything is connected here, because there seems to be, like, the number 5 plays like there's 5 days before the incident of the circles, there was the starving 5, and now this John Doe wanders around for 5 days. Could it be that maybe the entity with no mouth and no throat or whatever is also a vessel, but as a punishment from beyond the veil or whatever? Or is, because they said that that entity was their objective was to like shatter the ego of man or something like that. And maybe whatever's below the veil or whatever this ancient civilization was, this drowned city, has anger towards the people who are living there now. Potentially. This is just a theory, guys. December 10th, 2003. John comes across the Lebedev residence. I love the sound design. It's so good. It's so simple, but so effective. There he is. Is he carrying a freaking pickaxe? That is a horned devil right there. Or like, is it? Okay. Segment 2. But it doesn't make sense though. Because surely the townsfolk would be like, they would have mentioned, oh yeah, it had a ram's head, by the way. I think I already said that. I'm not sure. But like, so it's got to be a human with like wearing a hat of some kind. John Doe. It is common for many inhabitants of remote areas and hidden places to forget their front doors unlocked. A naive custom, often conditioned by the emptiness surrounding it. I love how this is written. It's so good. Mav Pias, his unfathomable name in evoking horror. The spectre whispered. Through the window, I beheld his lichen. So he was already... Oh, sorry, my camera stopped recording. So, does this mean John was already in the window, looking out? This is where his lichen... So lichen, that's like a wolf, is it not? Lycans are a fictional species of half-human, half-wolf creatures. Is that what the starving creature was as well? Lycan thing? The spectre whispered in evoking horror his unfathomable name, Mavpies. So this is called Mavpies? Hang on a sec. From doing a little bit of research online, nothing came up. But the one that did come up was Mavsias, which is a parable in Greek mythology about hubris. And hubris was a huge thing in Greek mythology where humans thought they could challenge the gods, right? It happens quite a lot. And, you know, gods have huge egos, so they punish people who think like they're better than them, basically. But in this person's case, Mavsias challenged the god Apollo to a musical competition. I remember this one now. And what happened was Apollo kind of cheated because Apollo was playing the guitar and like he turned the guitar upside down and started playing it like that. So Marsyas was an amazing like player of his instrument. I forgot what the instrument he played was. An aulus, which is kind of like a flute, I guess, a double flute. And so he starts playing music into the flute. Then Apollo does the thing where he turns the guitar upside down and starts playing that way. Apollo says, now you do it. And so he starts playing again. He goes, no. Turn your instrument upside down and play it. And obviously with a flute, there's only one blowhole. So he turned it upside down, no music was coming out. And because of that, he basically lost the competition, which was, I believe, judged by the Muses. And the Muses sided with Apollo. And as punishment, Apollo skinned this man alive. So I don't know if this is inspired by that, or if this is its own thing, or if it's like a reference to that. But that's just a little bit of Greek mythology for you there, guys. A name in the melody. Mavpies. And from the profane blade touched by Mavpies' fangs, I cut their eyes open in the dark room. 11:42, John Doe furtively strikes the Lebedev brothers. Jackson takes a pickaxe hit to the thigh, snapping the femur, and is left debilitated. Oliver drags Jackson to the dark room at gunpoint upon performing a suboptimal tourniquet. Okay, so he freaking smashed one in the leg. Oliver drags Jackson off to try and shelter maybe from this psychopath who just entered their home with a pickaxe. This isn't good. Oliver Lebedev, time of death 12:07. Who's laughing right now? Oof, jeez. My goodness, a pickaxe to the back of the head. Playing Minecraft, baby. Okay, and there's the symbol. So he drew that out in blood. Jackson Lebedev, time of death, 12:16. And he was shot twice. He got the easy way out. Unless Jackson, he must have died straight away. Pickaxe to the back of the head. So what is this symbol then? My God, look at that. Look, completely lights up my face. Oh, here we go, guys. I think we're about to get hypnotized. Oh, Martha. The sole reason I stand before you, narrating my tale, contributing to your futile pursuit of a comprehensible truth, is to convey you his message. He calls you to the lake, your good friend beneath the veil. You talking about Ethan? Visit the drowned city. Your failure to heed his warning will bring the same fate upon you and the few living folks you love. You will drown too. My goodness, look at that. Look at it's doing to my face. So bright. Okay. There's someone lying there at the bottom. Who is that? Okay, so... Oh, okay, so I think that was one of the dead bodies. And now this is Mav-Pias, maybe judging what they did. Oh my goodness. Is that 6 arms? Right. So that was the interview that was conducted with this John Doe guy. Okay, so the song is like a reference also to the description. In defiance of John's alleged method of murder, the bodies of Jackson and Oliver were found in contradictory conditions. Agents at the scene first observed vascular marbling, skin discoloration, and bloating in both bodies. That sounds like drowning. An autopsy analysis revealed pulmonary injury. What's pulmonary injury? Insinuating that drowning was the cause of death. But we know that's not true. Oakburn Opus. My God, I like this series. This series is so cool. 18 years old and creating stuff like this. Some people are just... This guy must be a vessel for some kind of creative god. The search for old Oakburn. Okay. So what does I say? Population continues. Okay. Okay, so... I have an overarching theory. Overarching theory of what the whole thing is like... a theme of. I'm getting a theme here. So if the Mav-Pias is like meant to be a reference to the Greek mythology, Marsyas, not Mavsias, then it seems like the whole thing, this whole kind of series has been about ego. So the whole story of Marsyas was that he had ego and he challenged a god to something like Apollo was the god of music, right? As well as, I don't know, the god of the sun as well. He was the god of many things. So challenging a god of music to a battle, a little, the devil came down from Georgia and had a little freaking fiddle off. That sounds weird. I feel like this whole series is a theme on ego. And maybe challenging the gods, or maybe thinking you're more powerful than a god. And it's almost like, no, you're not more powerful. So the circle, to begin with, that's like a god kind of entity. It's everything is one. Like that, and if you can join it, you can become part of that circle. It's like a god entity almost. It's unfathomable. And then with this one, I feel like Mav-Pias, if it's going off of the reference of the Greek mythology of Marsyas, then maybe he is also a vessel of this veil underneath. Maybe he challenged the gods and now he's being sent on a mission to expand. Because that's what they said. The whole purpose of this John Doe's mission was expansion, they said. So what if the Lycan Spectre, Mav-Pias, also was sent to do exactly the same thing and is now like a figurehead of the drowned city, basically. And you got to also think about the Starving Five. that whole reason that thing exists is to shatter the ego of men, or something like that. It said something about the ego of man. So I believe that is the theme that's happening here. It's about ego and greed of man, and being reminded that, you know, there's something a lot more powerful than man out there, and it lives below this lake. But yeah, this series has been freaking awesome. I've really enjoyed that. The visuals were amazing. The sound design was amazing. The story is amazing. Go check the videos out for yourself, guys. Go watch them for yourself, and then leave your theories down below on what you think this is about. I believe it is about like ego and stuff, and obviously that's just the theme, but the whole story in itself, obviously there's this Mavpias, this spectre who came to this village. But then there's the circles before that. I don't know if that's all related. It must be related because there's circles with 9 triangles inside it. So they're all interconnected somehow. But he came and like lived among them for a little bit, gained their trust, and then created a song that activated this this monolith, and it activated some kind of magic which awoken something underneath the lake, and that's why you hear all the screaming there. God knows what it is. Maybe we'll learn more about the actual drowned city in a future part. I really hope Red Diamond continues this because it's a fantastic series, phenomenal series, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So guys, go show your support to Red Diamond. That link will be in the description down below. If you enjoyed my reaction here today, why not consider subscribing? This is the majority of my content, reacting to analog horror, found footage, spooky stuff. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys. No! Me! Hello there, internet dwellers. Thank you for joining me in another video. Today we're going to be reacting to Oakburn Opus. We reacted to this on the channel before, and I said it was probably visually one of the most breathtaking analog horrors I've seen, or just well thought out analog horrors, probably alongside Midwest Angelica. That's another beautiful analog horror for sure. There is 2 more episodes that we haven't watched. We watched Oakburn Opus 1 and 2. We're going to watch number 3 and one called Lies. Now, just to keep you up to date with the story of Oakburn Opus, it's basically about a town in Alaska, I believe, completely vanishing on a random night in 1997. I think it was October or something like that. I'm unsure. But yeah, the entire population gone. Basically, it started when this horned guy playing the flute showed up, ingratiated himself or themselves, I don't know, this freaking demigod-like creature into their society. A lot of people began to like this person. They gathered them all around. I'm just going to say he gathered them all around this lake, which was Lake Oakburn, I believe, to play his magnum opus. And when he was playing, I think some kind of runes were showing up or something like that, or they were glowing, and then the whole town just vanishes. And I think there was some talk about like a drowned city underneath Oakburn or something like that. That's like thousands of years old. I can't really remember. But the second video is about a man who killed the Lebedev brothers, I believe they're called. The guy who killed them, it was almost like a ritualistic killing. He swears that it was this entity that convinced him or commanded him to kill these people, and this mysterious figure is called Mavpias, Marvpyas. And I believe the victims, I'm not sure if the victims he killed turned out like they looked like they'd been drowned, or if that was the guy who stabbed them ended up that way. I can't remember, but there's this big kind of thing going on where there's something going on underneath the city or the town itself that used to be something. And I believe this series is based around a woman called Martha Astor, who is an investigator or a detective. Her husband Ethan disappeared during the whole disappearing flute thing, and she is investigating the whole thing. So I believe the series is based around this Martha character and Mavpias. Yeah, part 2 ended with the ritualistic killing of these 2 people, or is it 3 people? I can't remember how many people were killed. And now we're into episode 3. This is a series by Red Diamond, so be sure to go subscribe to their channel, like the video. You can watch it alongside me in a muted tab. Always show support to the creators by watching the videos for yourself or watching alongside me. And with that, guys, we're going to get into part 3. The description reads as follows. Towards the midnight sun, I am riding home. Now, if I remember correctly, the soundtrack is pretty good. Okay. We've got some kind of like, almost like, what would you call that, choir singing? So this is like underground, underwater. Ooh. Okay. I love the visuals and the sounds. This whole thing is phenomenal. It deserves a lot more views for sure. I wouldn't really consider it analog horror. The land remained still, accursed by a tragic silence for over 5 years. So, I'm going to warn you guys, right? This isn't for the dumb minds like me, the simpletons like me, okay? This has very, like, almost Silent Hill-esque poetry to it, where, you know, it's wrapped up in meaning, and you've got to decipher it for yourself. Unfortunately for me, I'm a very surface-level guy. I can try and go deep with it, but I know my take is probably going to be miles off. But you know what? I'm going to try. I've never really been good with deciphering poetry. But then again, poetry is kind of... I mean, I don't think there's a right way of interpreting art. I see poetry as art. So if you interpret it a certain way, I don't think that's necessarily... You know, maybe the poet or whatever, or the artist wanted to show you a certain thing, but the thing is with art is that it's different with each perspective. But a person who looks at something and another person by them who looks at the same thing can see completely different things. You know what I mean? Old Oakburn, a village hidden between barren mountains and white woods, in its heart, the depths of the lake. The single road connects the village to its neighbour town, Itosavik. After 5 years of neglect and decrepitude, it has become treacherous, overgrown with weeds and twigs, the path barely visible amidst the snow. I am here now. I am home. Today in those dark depths I must venture and behold my secret, the very root of my curse. Okay, the root of the curse is in this town or village. These waters go much deeper. Okay. Red Diamond presents. This dude's 19, by the way, I think. Which is really insane. Holy crap, look at this. This is very Silent Hill. Look at this. So, 5 years since the event, so we're like, what's this, 93, 4, what's this, was it 97 so it's like 2002 right now? Damn. Oh yeah, the symbols. I remember the symbols. Oakburn Opus 3. It was like a triangle with like 9 circles around it. Well, there was one where it was like a circle with triangles outside it. I don't know what it means, but I think that was one of the stones. Oof, jeez, that made it disappear. It's like this flute player activated this almost like a obelisk in a way that had these markings on. 2002. Okay, I was right. The investigation begins. Martha Astor returns to Itosavik. Martha's audio journal, recovered 2010, so 8 years ago, 8 years after. For now, all the evidence collected from the 1997 phenomenon is abstract, frantic, ambiguous, and reveals the arcane nature of the case. Manuscript findings, diaries, newspaper entries, and the cassette tape depicting the magnum opus. In some of these samples, one notices a strange constant. Which was, I believe to have found a promising clue, a line of investigation that will lead me to the truth. There he is, the horned flute player. Or perhaps condemn me to the most horrible perversity. Oh jeez, it's very Silent Hill. There's the thing. A monolith raised in the woods that surround the lake. On its surface etched is the oft-mentioned sigil, the sigil of Mavpias. So this is the sigil of Mavpias, who is the creature guy. Crumbly, covered in moss and stained with moisture, the stone, however, reveals a more intriguing nature when analysed in depth. I found it possible to deduce the monolith's true purpose. A tombstone. Okay, so it's like a grave. Before the monolith, we are most likely to find the entrance of the tomb. Okay. And what makes you think that? Do you think that's Mavpias's grave? I will be conducting a solo